Just past high tide, 62 degrees, almost chilly at 6:31 a.m. It's Wednesday, August 23rd, and we've got some action, some maritime action. Want to come out? Come on, Steve, let's go. You're going to be part of the program. Be on the ball. Let's get with it. Still kind of windy outside. Kind of surprised by that. Let's go get a better view of the tanker. Golden energy. That's not how a lot of people feel about this kind of energy. But the cooling season, when you need air conditioners, it seems to have gone away all of a sudden. And the heating season, almost here. I mean, for a few runs of the model of the Euro, it looked like we were going to need heating degree days on Sunday and Monday where the cooler air comes in. We're on heating degree days as the season goes on. Kind of ran out the door fairly quickly just to get this going by. Group of cormorants going by above that, or brant. Is there a difference between a brant geese and a brant cormorant? I forgot. We have high pressure right over us. This is the day about 10 days ago we started picking on, because when Wednesday, August 23rd first showed up on the Euro, it looked like it was going to be hot around here with low pressure in Canada and a wind from the west. Well, instead we have high pressure in southeastern Canada and a wind from the northeast. Once again, Rex, what is wind? Air moving from high to low pressure. We have high pressure going across New England, and the pressure is still rising in Boston. That's why the air is still from the north at, 5 to 10 miles an hour. And inland, just inland, it's calm right now. Beverly this morning, if that thermometer is right, says 50 degrees. 48 in Keene, New Hampshire. The records for this morning are in the mid 40s, so we did not achieve any record low temperatures, I don't think. Uh-oh, what's he doing? His bark is worse than his bite, so to speak. Steve does not capture birds. Once in a while, a mouse. But I did fill the feeder. So it's going to be that time of year. I'm going to be losing the sun. I'm going to be losing the sunrise and the sunset now as the Earth, the northern hemisphere of the Earth, tilts away from the sun. So you lose close to 2.5 minutes per day. They're shrinking rapidly, and I won't be able to see the sun when it comes up or goes down. I'll be going across the southern sky, sort of like what the moon is doing right now. I could just barely see the moon above that tree yesterday, and the sunset's going to disappear to the left over there, but not yet. Summer is not over. High pressure is going to protect us from all that heat for another day. I got Rex into chasing crows, even though they're up in the sky and you're on the ground. It's pretty fun. It's a serious heat wave. I saw that Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right on the edge of the heat. So the Euro was right about the heat being around, just not here. Milwaukee, the high temperature forecast today is 97, and the record is 98 from 1947. But people really don't go by the temperature anymore. Everyone says the heat index. So they're all talking about a heat index way over 100 degrees. Yeah, it's hot all right, and I'm happy that it's not here in New England. But it's going to try and come at us. And so the return of that warm weather to New England is going to be shunted by another cold front out of Canada. And it's a pretty busy weather map starting late. What are the crows squawking at, T-Rex? What are they squawking at? What are they doing? Go get them. Warm front comes in tomorrow, and that brings in the clouds and showers and a thunderstorm west late. Cool. Planes were taking off and landing toward the north yesterday, and I think that's still happening. That one probably came around because the air is still coming from the north. Mount Washington did get down to 37 last night. It's still not as cold as the last day of July or first days of August. All right, focus, Tim. Warm front, showers and thunderstorms Thursday night. Low pressure on the warm front Friday. Real hot weather trying to come north, cold weather in its way. The big heavy bully is the cold air, and the warm humid air rides over the top of the cold, and you have downpours and perhaps localized flash flooding for Friday. Remember, at one point about 6 days ago, the Euro had 6 to 12 inches of rain. And then yesterday it kind of backed off. Well, it backed way off 6 to 12. But here's the latest QPF, quantitative precipitation forecast, which I haven't even seen because I ran out the door before I looked at it. But I'm thinking 2 to 4 in spots. Some spots will get 2 or 3 inches of rain on Friday into Saturday. And then, what about Sunday? It's one of the last weekends of summer. We can't have 2 bad days. You know, my rule about a beautiful Wednesday usually means trouble on Saturday, so I'm really buying the Saturday trouble. Going to the Taste of New England at Spruce in Vermont. And the Euro says it's going to be cool and wet. The GFS says it's going to be sunny and warm. Not warm, but pleasant. Temperature near 70, dew point in the 50s. Kind of leaning towards the GFS and more optimistic. Same thing for southern New England. Here's Boston. Here's the Euro with our east wind on Sunday. That boundary kind of stalled just to our south. High to the north, low to the south. Moisture stuck in place. Keeps us raining. GFS for Boston, a little nicer. So I don't think we're going to have rain Thursday night, Friday, Saturday showers and storms, and Sunday. So I'm going to try and lean optimistic for Sunday anyway. But a lot of us are going to get a lot of water. Tropics, the Euro has decided maybe there won't be a hurricane in Florida on day 10, which is now day 9, next Thursday or so. But we're still watching Franklin. It's a potent, wet tropical storm going over Hispaniola today, and then it's going to be over the water, kind of just sitting around waiting for more favorable environmental conditions to intensify, and it is still forecast to become a hurricane, jog to the left a little bit, and then kind of come straight at New England before turning out to the right. And that sounds pretty reasonable. Generally, hurricanes that are slow moving that far off the mid-Atlantic are not a problem. So hopefully Franklin just brings us some swell, the south coast primarily, and that would probably be before Labor Day weekend, late next week. And then as long as we can keep something other than a hurricane down in the Gulf of Mexico, perhaps we end up with a good Labor Day weekend. But there's still some energy in the Gulf of Mexico at that time that would probably want to run north. So we know we really can't trust a 10-day forecast, but I'll show you the 14-day forecast from the Euro. It shows most of the wet weather happening here on Friday into Saturday, and no heat in the forecast, and it's lost its desire to give us heating degree days, just warm enough that we don't have to turn on the heat here on Sunday and Monday. And then it's probably almost absolutely wrong that it's going to be that nice going all the way into Labor Day weekend. But we'll take it for now. Yesterday, I didn't really have my camera with me and did some fun things over at Bert's Boatyard, but I came out in the backyard and really cleaned things up. Oh yeah, did you notice something missing? The view? Is the view here a lot better than it was? Quiz, who knows what's missing? And mowed underneath porch lawn furniture. That is not easy, cutting the grass underneath lawn furniture. It has to go somewhere when you do it, right? So I'll leave you with some of that. And 2 cats and a dog. And weather, out the door weather, and more in a time lapse. Thanks for coming, Steve. He loves standing on Bodie's plaque. Oh, did I forget the wind forecast? Sorry about that, Kevin. Thanks for the invite tonight. I may see you out there. Looks like east, maybe even southeast at about 5 to 10. Nice high pressure going off. And so light wind from the east with a pretty sunset earlier and earlier. I imagine the race will start earlier too. High tide, just about 6 o'clock, 77 degrees. So we're experimenting with new ways to let both T-Rex and Steve go out the door for weather and more. Mitt, you want to go too? Now, Mitt's a slow one, so he can go out slowly. Oh, you need a little wider berth too, don't you? The other 2 are already out there. It's kind of complicated with all the obstacles. So, there he goes. He always likes to go and rub on the cement. T-Rex is just sniffing around the hosta. Oh, the hosta's bloomed. I didn't even notice that. So you get some late August hosta. What a gorgeous evening. Mitt, did Mitt come out? Where'd Mitt go? Where'd he go? All right, where's Mitt? Mitt is usually slow, and I don't have to worry about him so much, but oh wow. We used to call him Houdini because he escaped all the time. Well before Steve was around, Mitt was the escape artist. Where you going, Mitt? Out the door. T-Rex, TK, Mitt, Steve, and more. Not sure how much more I'm gonna have this evening. Probably just leave you with a nice sunset time lapse. It's getting way too dark, way too early. Gorgeous Tuesday and Wednesday. You know what usually happens on the weekend when you have a gorgeous Wednesday. Oh, did I already say that? Go ahead, Mitt, you can get up there. I want to see it. Come on, jump. You might want to, in the olden days, he's getting kind of old, he would be up there already. Now he's thinking about it. All right, you just wander over there. Steve is gonna check out the old lettuce, see if there's any rabbit in there. And of course there's a catbird. I can hear the catbird. Why don't we leave you with the sound of a catbird and a time lapse of a sunset. Hopefully I'll remember how to put it together next year. Basically for one day a year, July 3rd. Try to label them and make it easier, repurposing in a bag we had from the tent that collapsed back on July 3rd when we thought we'd be smart and put it up the day before the event, and then it flooded and broke.